Level 1, the recruit. You're 19 years old and you're standing in a recruiting line that stretches around the block. It's 1917, and the newspapers are calling this the war to end all wars. You don't know what that means yet. You just know your neighbor already left, your cousin already left, and the girl you like keeps asking if you're going to enlist. You sign the papers, your mother doesn't cry in front of you, but you hear her through the kitchen wall that night. You leave 3 days later on a train packed with boys who look just as scared as you feel, even though none of you will admit it. You wave at your family through the window until the platform disappears. You don't know it yet, but some of these boys standing next to you right now won't make it to Christmas. Level 2, the trainee. You arrive at a camp that didn't exist 8 months ago. Wooden barracks, mud everywhere, and a sergeant who screams like your life. Depends on understanding him the first time? It does. You learn to march. You learn to strip a rifle in the dark. You learn bayonet drills on straw dummies, stabbing and twisting like they teach you. Pretending the sound the instructor makes isn't going to matter later. You get your uniform wool that itches in the summer heat. You get your gas mask and you're told it might be the only thing standing between you and a slow, choking death. You practice putting it on in under 9 seconds. Your hands shake the first 20 times. By the 40th, they don't. Level 3, the new arrival at the front. You cross the Atlantic in a convoy, seasick and packed below deck with hundreds of other men. Weeks later, you step off a train in France, and the first thing that hits you is the sound, a low, constant rumble on the horizon that never fully stops. That's artillery. That's the war introducing itself. You march to the trenches at night because moving during the day gets you shot. The trench is nothing like you imagined. It's narrow, waist deep in mud in places, and it smells like nothing you've ever smelled before. Rot and smoke and unwashed bodies. A veteran soldier hands you a tin of bully beef and tells you not to look at the bodies near the wire. You look anyway. Level 4, the private in the line. You settle into the rhythm nobody warned you about. Days of numbing boredom followed by minutes of pure terror. You stand watch during stand to at dawn, rifle ready, because that's when attacks usually come. You share your trench with rats the size of house cats that chew through your boots while you sleep. Trench foot becomes a real fear, your feet rotting inside wet socks you haven't changed in a week. You write letters home that lie by omission. You tell your mother the food is fine. You don't tell her about the man 3 feet away from you who stopped moving after the last shelling and stayed there for 2 days before anyone could retrieve him. If you're finding this as immersive as I do, go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on notifications because more stories like this one are coming, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Level 5. The veteran in his first real battle. Your unit gets the order. Over the top at dawn, you climb the ladder with 100 other men and the whistle blows, and you run into open ground toward machine gun nests that haven't stopped firing in 10 minutes. The man to your left goes down before you've taken 20 steps. You don't stop. You've been trained not to stop. You reach the wire, you find a gap, and you keep moving, because stopping means dying. When it's over, your unit has lost 60% of its strength in under an hour, and you didn't even see the men who did it. That's modern war. You rarely see who's trying to kill you. Level 6, the section leader. You've survived 6 months, which already puts you ahead of most. You're given command of a section, 8 men who now look to you for decisions. You learn the weight of that fast. A young private named Tommy, barely 18, follows every order you give without question. During a raid on a German trench, you lead your men through no man's land at night, cutting wire in silence. Tommy gets hit crossing back. You drag him 30 yards under fire. He dies in the mud before the medics reach you. You write his mother a letter. You don't know what to say, so you say what every officer before you has said. He died bravely. He didn't suffer. You don't know if either sentence is true. Level 7, the hardened soldier. You've stopped flinching at shell bursts that would have dropped you to your knees a year ago. That's not bravery. That's just what happens to a person who's heard enough explosions. You've developed something the doctors are starting to call shell shock, though nobody fully understands it yet. Your hands tremble without warning. Loud noises make your whole body seize for half a second before you catch yourself. You've seen men crack completely, curling into the mud, unable to speak, sent to the rear labeled cowards by officers who don't understand what's happening to their minds. You keep going because stopping feels more dangerous than continuing. Around you, the war has become industrial in its scale. Gas attacks, tanks, artillery barrages that last for days and turn the landscape into something unrecognizable. Level 8, the survivor of the big push. You're part of an offensive that gains 400 yards and costs 20,000 casualties in a single day. You don't know the number when it happens, you just know your unit doesn't look like your unit anymore. New faces replace the ones you knew. You stop learning their names as quickly, it hurts less that way, or you tell yourself it does. A gas attack catches your line at dusk. You get your mask on in time. The man beside you doesn't. You watch him die slowly, and there's nothing in your training that prepared you for how long it takes. Level 9, the man waiting for the end. It's 1918 now. You've been in this war longer than anyone should be. The Americans have arrived, fresh and confident, and you almost envy how unbroken they still look. Rumors move through the trench faster than orders do. Talk of an armistice. You don't believe it until the morning it actually happens, 11 o'clock, the 11th day of the 11th month. The guns stop. All of them. All at once. The silence after 4 years of noise is the strangest sound you've ever heard. You stand in the trench, and you don't know what to do with your hands. Level 10, the man who goes home. You return to a country that doesn't know what to do with you either. Your mother hugs you and cries, and for a moment, you don't recognize her. Not because she's changed, but because some part of you is still standing in that trench. Your little brother, who was 12 when you left, is nearly grown now, and he looks at you like you're a stranger, wearing his brother's face. You flinch at a car backfiring on the street. You wake up at night reaching for a rifle that isn't there. Nobody has a name yet for what's happening inside you. They just call it shell shock and expect you to move on. Some men never fully come back, even standing right there in the room with their families. You carry the ones who didn't make it with you for the rest of your life. And somewhere, quietly, you understand that no parade, no medal, and no homecoming will ever fully bring back the person who left on that train years ago.